Central banks and financial stability. The crisis did not offer conclusive evidence on the general superiority of specific models for the organization of financial supervision. Of course, the main rationale for allocating prudential responsibilities to central banks is the existence of important synergies between the pursuit of macroeconomic stability and the preservation of financial stability. From a conceptual point of view, if we think of the set of interrelations between policy objectives and instruments as a system of equations, the view that the macroeconomic and financial stability objectives could be pursued separately would imply that equations in that system could be solved recursively one by one. Yet the addition of financial stability responsibilities to central banks' mandates significantly complicates decision-making. More importantly, the addition of prudential policy to central banks mission makes them more exposed to public scrutiny and political debate. As a consequence, the enlargement of central banks' functions has helped ignite the debate on their independence in different parts of the world. Yet central banks' independence is, if anything, needed now more than ever before. Equally solid arguments support regulatory and supervisory independence. Therefore, independence is just as important for financial stability as it is for price stability. That said, it is clear that the broader the mission of central banks, the stronger the case to enhance transparency and accountability. Recent technological developments further complicate the framework. in which central banks and supervisory authorities should perform their responsibilities. In principle, innovation could contribute to financial inclusion, increased competition. Enlarged savings and investment opportunities, and to the provision of more affordable services and products. First, the reliance on automated systems and external providers of technological services raises the risk of cyber incidents with a potential systemic impact. The challenging trade-offs suggest that authorities need to act prudently. But they can hardly remain passive given the rapid and potentially disruptive developments. In order to move forward, authorities need to consider at least four important aspects. First, they must develop a comprehensive understanding of the fintech businesses in their jurisdiction. Second, careful consideration should be given to the need to adjust the regulatory perimeter to accommodate new entities or activities in order to ensure adequate control of risks and a level playing field. Third, regulatory actions should be coordinated at the global level to the extent possible. Fourth, regulators should also embrace technology. In sum, recent developments point to an emerging need for regulatory actions. The new role of central banks indeed, despite the potential for disruption of new technologies. There seems to be no strong case to substantively modify supervisory authorities' key objectives. By the same token, technological developments have, if anything, strengthened the case for the independence of central banks and supervisory authorities. That said, in order to properly perform the functions that society has delegated to them, independent central banks, particularly if they hold financial stability responsibilities, need to develop sufficient capacity and to adapt their internal procedures and decision-making processes to cope with the new challenges. The BIS is determined to contribute substantially to both objectives. Second, we will take several initiatives to better understand the implications of technological developments. For the financial system and help our stakeholders to make effective use of them in their own policy formation. Third, we will strengthen our efforts to contribute to the dissemination of good policy practices. To support capacity building and to facilitate interaction among regulators. The FSI will play a key role in several of these initiatives. Moreover, the FSI will also play a prominent role in our pursuit of understanding. The regulatory and supervisory implications of innovative technologies. As you can see, the FSI has come a long way over the last 20 years, but its goal remains the same. To assist supervisors around the world in improving and strengthening their financial systems. Congratulations, and keep taking this invaluable work forward. Thank you. Looking ahead by looking back, speech by Mr. William Cohn, Secretary General of the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision ****. At the 20th International Conference of Banking Supervisors, Abu Dhabi, November 28, 2018. Excellencies, Governors, and Heads of Supervision, past and present, Sir John Vickers. Distinguished members of the Basel Committee, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sabah al-Khair, and welcome to the 20th International Conference of Banking Supervisors, ICBS. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Governor Mubarak al-Mansuri and the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, for hosting us in this splendid venue. This is the 20th ICBS organized by the Basel Committee. The theme of this year's conference is about looking back in order to look ahead more effectively. Looking back, the enemy is forgetting I thought that, in the time that I have today. I would list the Basel Committee's publications over the past 10 years. There are over 350 such publications, so luckily for you, I don't have that much time. Consider first the shipping industry. Another casualty of the crisis was the automotive industry. With almost 100 million vehicles produced last year, the industry is another pillar of the global economy. 4 And yet it was in critical condition following the onset of the global financial crisis. For example, two of the three biggest U.S. automakers, which collectively employed $1.6 million people at that time, were staring at bankruptcy and liquidation. This prompted an $80 billion bailout by the U.S. government to prevent such an outcome. 5 What about household savings? None of the examples that I have highlighted relate to the distress experienced by banks during the financial crisis. These snapshots, while anecdotal in nature, help to portray the global and multifaceted impact of the financial crisis, which continues to scar us to this day. Recent research by the IMF suggests that output levels remain below pre-crisis trends in more than 60% of economies. 9 Importantly, this includes advanced and emerging market economies that did not suffer a systemic banking crisis in 2007-08, and painfully illustrates the negative cross-border spillover effects of financial crises. For example, the UAE was not immune from the effects of the global financial crisis. Dubai World. The investment company behind many of the spectacular projects in Dubai, such as the Palm Islands and the World. Faced a debt standstill in November 2009, resulting in a $10 billion aid package from Abu Dhabi. 10 These effects are seen not just in economic and financial numbers, but in societal patterns at large. Recent research has shown how post-crisis global economic performance has had a significant impact on both migration and fertility rates. With these long-lasting effects yet to be fully felt. 11 There are now fewer graduates entering the financial sector. With an increasing number opting for what some may view as more socially useful activities. Looking ahead, mission accomplished? I hope I have jolted your memory of the impact of the global financial crisis. The main elements of the Basel Committee's post-crisis reforms are well known. These reforms have strengthened the resilience of the banking system. But have they gone far enough? This is an important question, 10 years after the start of the crisis. There will be a Basel IV at some point in the future, even if it may not be called as such. There are no shortages of risks looming across the financial system. And we are witnessing financial innovation taking place at a dizzying pace. The regulatory framework needs to adapt. To new risks and lessons learned from the crisis. Rest assured. I don't expect Basel IV to happen anytime soon, though some in the industry may think that it already has happened. Despite our collective best efforts in strengthening the regulatory framework, the final Basel III framework represents a consensus among committee members. Which in turn means that it may not necessarily reflect a theoretically first best outcome. Importantly though, the Basel framework includes a number of levers. To allow jurisdictions to apply additional safeguards if needed. Second, an important element of Basel III is its macroprudential framework. Which allows for a global coordinated approach for authorities to continuously monitor emerging system-wide risks. Third, any known gaps or second best outcomes in the minimum requirements, Pillar 1, framework can and should be supplemented through robust and rigorous supervision. I will end with one final observation. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Basel Committee's comprehensive post-crisis reforms have undoubtedly enhanced the resilience of the banking system.